They stand silent and motionless, rooted to the earth, seemingly passive witnesses to the hurried chaos of our lives. Yet, beneath their calm, green exterior, an invisible, constant dialogue unfolds, a network of whispers and chemical signals that suggests a consciousness far more complex than we ever imagined. What if the forests are not silent, but are simply speaking a language we are too loud to hear? We often dismiss the botanical world as a simple backdrop to life, a mere collection of photosynthetic machinery. They lack brains, nerves, and voices in the way we understand them, leading us to confidently label them as non-sentient. But this perception is rapidly dissolving under the scrutiny of modern science. The quietness of a forest or the stillness of a garden is the grandest illusion, a superficial calm masking a continuous, complex exchange of information. Tonight, we push past the visible, past the leaves and the branches, to delve into the hidden vocabulary of the plant kingdom. We seek the truth about their clandestine communication networks and ask a profound, unsettling question. Are we surrounded by a vast, silent intelligence that we have mistakenly ignored? Imagine a tree under attack, a hungry caterpillar munching relentlessly on its leaves. The tree cannot run or scream, but it does something far more strategic. It broadcasts a silent alarm into the atmosphere. This is done through volatile organic compounds, a cocktail of airborne chemicals. These VOCs travel on the wind, acting as an invisible warning signal. Nearby plants, receiving this chemical SOS, immediately ramp up their defenses, producing toxins or distasteful compounds in their own leaves, preparing for the impending attack. This is a communal warning system, a selfless act of communication across species, proving that plants possess a complex awareness of their environment and a willingness to cooperate against a shared enemy. The most astonishing conversations, however, take place not in the air, but beneath the surface, in the perpetual darkness of the soil. Here lies the Wood Wide Web, a vast, subterranean fungal network known as the mycorrhizal network. Plant roots intertwine with the thread-like structures of fungi, forming a symbiotic connection that acts as a planetary nervous system. This network is the true secret language, a dark, pulsing conduit for information and resources. Through the mycorrhizal network, trees don't just communicate, they engage in sophisticated trade and resource distribution. Healthy, sun-rich trees can transfer excess carbon to shaded, struggling saplings or their own offspring, effectively acting as communal caregivers. When one part of the forest is poisoned or dying, the surrounding network may shuttle essential nutrients away from that area to others. It is an underground economy of survival, a shared ledger of life and debt that fundamentally challenges our capitalistic view of nature, revealing a society built on cooperation, not competition. At the center of many such networks stands the mother tree, the largest, oldest specimen, anchoring the entire subterranean community. Scientific research suggests these mother trees can identify their own kin and prioritize the flow of nutrients and defensive warnings to them through the fungal web. When a mother tree is dying, it doesn't just perish. It executes a final, profound act of communication, transferring its remaining resources and accumulated defensive knowledge to the next generation of seedlings. This is the transfer of inherited memory, a quiet passing of ancestral wisdom, ensuring the survival of the forest long after the individual has fallen silent. Beyond the slow, measured pace of chemical signals, some plants exhibit an astonishing speed in their communication, hinting at a mechanism far more rapid. When certain plants are wounded, they generate electrical signals that travel across their leaves and stems, remarkably similar to the nervous system activity in animals. Though plants lack neurons, these electrical pulses, driven by shifts in charged ions, transmit information about the wound site throughout the entire organism in seconds. It's an internal alarm system, a rapid-fire communication that proves even without a brain, the plant can instantly recognize, process, and respond to threats across its entire structure. Perhaps the most unsettling frontier of plant communication involves sound. Studies have shown that some plants, when subjected to stress, emit ultrasonic vibrations. These aren't loud cries we can hear, but subtle, high-frequency pops or clicks. The nature and frequency of these sounds change depending on the type of stress. While it is still unknown if other plants hear these distress calls in the same way, the mere existence of these sounds suggests a form of auditory broadcasting, a genuine expression of pain or alarm that travels through the air, waiting for the right kind of ear to listen. The silent world might be, in fact, incredibly loud to those who possess the right sensory apparatus. Our inability to fully grasp the plant language is less a failure of their communication and more a failure of our sensory and intellectual arrogance. We operate in a fast-paced, verbal, linear world. Plant communication, by contrast, is often slow, chemical, and three-dimensional, operating across decades, utilizing scent, touch, and resource exchange as its grammar. We seek a lexicon, a syntax that mirrors human thought, missing the profound subtlety of a network that communicates intent and need through shared molecules and silent electrical impulses. We are trying to translate a deep ocean into a shallow stream. Does this intricate web of communication imply consciousness? The debate is profound and ongoing. If a plant can recognize its kin, anticipate threats, deploy complex chemical defenses, and participate in a community economy, does it not possess a form of intelligence adapted to its rooted existence? The plant does not need to think like us. It only needs to know how to survive, how to thrive, and how to communicate that knowledge. Their communication forces us to confront our rigid definitions of life, language, and awareness, suggesting that consciousness may be less about the ability to move and speak, and more about the ability to sense, respond, and connect. We began by asking if the plants truly talk. What we discovered is a hidden kingdom, a silent, subterranean society engaged in continuous, essential dialogue, a language of smoke signals and electrical whispers. They do not talk like us, but they communicate with a complexity and unity that often surpasses our own scattered efforts. Every root, every leaf, every fungal thread is a node in a vast, living communication network, quietly orchestrating the balance of our world. The next time you walk through a forest, remember that you are not in a silent place, but in the middle of a continuous conversation you cannot hear. The earth is alive with unspoken truths, waiting for us to finally learn how to listen. What profound secrets are the silent witnesses of the world still waiting to share with you?